Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Thanks for coming out. You're looking at a 2014 yard machine, 21-inch cut. I got this recently. The front wheel assembly here is tied up. Harvey, the homeowner, had went ahead and wrapped some cord around this to keep this thing from dropping. The metal tab here is tweaked out and it's not grabbing the notches. So the cord supposedly would keep tension on this so it wouldn't be pounding manhole covers. It appears the cord here is stretched out. It's wrapped all the way up onto the handle. I happened to dissect this 2013 yard machine recently. This was the Gulf of Mexico boat anchor, the big gap here in the back where it fell apart. I salvaged the engine. I have that in storage. I went ahead and removed the front and rear wheel assemblies, and you do that with a 10mm socket. The front assembly here has 5 screws you have to disassemble. I'll show you that momentarily. What I want to do is use this assembly on the 2014. There's only one slight difference, and I'll show you that here in a second. So you have 5 of these screws, and what you'll find is oftentimes they'll be sandblasted because the blade sand kicks into these and they rust. It's wet under the deck, and it'll round off these heads, so some of them might be a bear to get off. Vice grips will help. They're only into plastic here. So the difference with the tab, adjustment tab, is this style has a metal plate here which the adjustment goes into. The 2014 has a plastic tab which makes your adjustment. That's the only difference. The shape of the front end is the same. You have the same 5 bolts holding it to the metal deck. The only difference is up here on the tab assembly. Okay, Southwest Airlines just left the neighborhood. So what I have ready to go is a 10mm socket, my impact, and some Happy Juice. I forget what the prognosis on this 2014 was as far as engine startup. So we may have more than one issue here. Let me go ahead and try this one out and see if we're going to do a carb clean afterwards. Extremely clean filter. I don't think so. Original Briggs & Stratton number. I think I looked at this one. I remember the big gap here. The big gap in the top. 593260 is your part number. We got the right amount of oil, slightly above the fill mark, but it's close enough. There is gas in the bottom of the tank. Let me pull on this thing. Automatic choke. Okay, so it would appear Harvey and Helen dumped this thing due to the fact the front end was so sloppy. Engine runs. Maybe I'll change out the fuel. It started on the 4th pull. Maybe we got some stale fuel. So let's resurrect this thing right now. Let me get you guys set up, and then we'll take the front end off. So hold on, let me move some things around here to get it squared away. I'll also save the rear end, the high wheel rear end. Sometimes that plastic cracks, so I'll have a backup rear end. Let me bring you down and we'll get busy. Hopefully the shadows don't screw up this camera work. Trash day, they're going up and down the street, kind of noisy, but we'll deal with it. Okay, we're ready. We have some debris, so I got a brush. I'm just going to expose the 10mm bolts so we can get a socket on them. If you wanted to, you could have soaked these overnight with some PB Blaster or the acetone dextron mix to try to soften them up. These are all cooperating. I'm going to put my impact to them to save some time. Usually I just hand remove everything. But today's impact day. I got this at a yard sale for 20 bucks. The charger, a couple of dead batteries. I just went to Fleabay and got a replacement 4.6 amp hour battery for it. I'm happy for 20. Five of these 10mm. Let me bring it over. I have the razor blade handy to cut that string that Harvey and Helen put on it. So you can see that plopped right off as it should have. Got a well-used razor blade here. This wouldn't cut anything. Anyway, I must have tried to cut a boulder with this thing. This thing is flat. Anyway, so let's get busy. This thing is off. The reason I didn't mess with trying to rectify this, once these tabs are tweaked out, it's extremely hard to get them bent back in the shape they need to be to connect with these notches. This thing's tweaked out. So that's why I'm not messing with it. In past experience, once it's out of shape, it's extremely difficult to get this back to the proper bend that's needed. So that's why I'm switching this thing out. I'm going to get my garden hose and blast this dirt away. That's just a rust maker there. You can see the surface rust that dirt has created underneath the plastic. Water and dirt get trapped in there, and this is a rust haven. I got my daughter's toothbrush. Let's clean this up. Good enough for a used lawnmower. And she'll never notice the difference. Okay, enough of that. Let's get busy. I'm going to turn this thing back over, carburetor on the high side, and we'll put this new front end to work. I'm going to use the screws I just took off. They seem to be in better condition. There's less sandblasting on those 5 I just removed. So I got one started here at the top. I'll just work my way down, get the 5 screws in place. Okay, I think we're done. I got the 5 on there. Let's drop this back down. Blade doesn't look too bad. I'll touch up the leading edge. I don't see any major damage to the blade. We'll use this one again. So there you have it. This tab's working, so what I'm going to do is finish cleaning this up. I'm going to get my degreaser, grease it down, let it dry in the sun, and then paint the engine block with the shaker can, touch up the blade, give it an oil change, and this thing should be ready to go. Continue to remove the string here that Harvey tied up, and this thing should be ready to go today for sale. Appreciate you coming out, checking out this front end swap. The rusty boat anchor 2013 onto this 2014 body. Anyway, thanks. Continue to have a nice day. And like, subscribe, all that jazz. We got a camouflage insect here on my tank. Stick bug. Anyway, keep moving, keep shaking. Thanks again.